we're going to take a look at Piktochart. Again, this one allows you to log in using your Google login. Very easy. This is the main screen. As you can see, here are the free themes that you can use, and then these are the pro themes. Basically, a pictograph, infographic publishing application, or you can select one of these styled. Do you want to use infographic or presentation styled reports? But anyway, I'm going to go to my Piktochart and show you one that I did with my class, just to kind of give you an overview of the main functions of this. So we did an infographic, and in these you're basically broken down into sections, in these blocks, and in these blocks you're going to put your different assets. And so when you click on each of these blocks, you'll notice on the side that it's going to tell you the number that the block is, and it's going to allow you to move that block up and down to reorder it. It's going to allow you to add a block, and it's going to allow you to clone it, to duplicate it, or delete it. The other thing is you can set the canvas. You can resize that width to give it a different width if you wish, to work at a different size. And also you can resize the block height depending on what you decide that you want to do. But right now we're just going to work with the default settings because that's what we're working with. Now, as I was discussing before, you can click on each of these individual assets, and the way these work is they're layering. And when you click on something, you're going to have this arrangement, and you're going to either send it to the front or the back, and it's going to be arranged over or under something. And you're also going to be able to double click it, for example the text, and change its font and size. You're going to be able to change the font color. You can lock the asset so that you don't accidentally delete it or you don't move it around. So once you get something in a place that you want it, you can lock it down. Once you lock it down, you notice that it changed from the white points to the red points, and that way you don't move it. If you want to move it again, you unlock it. That way you can move it around. And as you move things, and I'm holding the mouse, you'll notice that the guidelines pop, the little orange guidelines, to let me know that it's centered. If I want to keep that in its spot and not move it around because I have a lot of things going on, I'll just lock it down. That way I can move this around and kind of get that to go. Because every little thing here, this little white line, is an asset that I may not want to move. So if I have something, if I'm building a number of boxes, maybe I start to build with a blank box with this white line in place, I might clone that a couple times because I want a number of these blank boxes to put things on either side. So anyway, okay. Over here in my uploads, you can upload a number of images. When you upload things like this, it's important to remember that you want to upload images that don't have background. You need to upload things that are transparent. So, for example, here, when I look up a transparent background, files that are a PNG, I look up like Adidas logo PNG. If I just look up Adidas logo and I click on this, you'll see that there are these little squares I can see. That lets me know that this is a transparent background. But if I don't see those squares, and I just see a solid background like this, and now we're going to go, for example, save the image, and I see that it's a JPEG, that would mean that this would be a solid white square, which means that when I load this in, it's going to just be a solid white box. And that's not going to be very helpful when I'm trying to make this look nice. So you're going to look for something that's going to have these little squares on it, which means it's a transparent background, a PNG or a GIF file. So you can upload your own images, and you can just simply drag them over, and you can resize them. But the problem is, with a program like this, unfortunately, it's not a good way to resize it without losing its proportion. But if you, for example, need to make many of them, just simply copy and paste. You can copy it from here and then paste it again, or you can just hit Control V for paste. Now you can take an asset like this and hold Control and click, or hold Shift and click on all of them, and how it selects all of them, and then you hold this group button, and now they'll be grouped together. And you can copy them, Control C, or copy here, and then hit paste again, and now you've just made all that. So I shift and click, and I can just group that whole thing together. I'll lock that down. So now I have no more, I can't move that around. But alright. Another thing you can do in this is you can add the charts. One of the things that you have to, is very important to remember that is different in this is that it's going to throw off your data when you put this in. Is you have to really set this up looking just like this. If you don't have numbers, for example, and I were to put the $ sign in here, that would not give me a chart. So just be careful when you're importing data, which you can do, or you can bring in dynamic data, which is kind of neat, because if you were trying to use this chart long term and publish it, which you can't do with the free version, but you could do if you wanted to pay for it, you can link this to your Google Drive, for example, paste the your published link in, and this would just this would be a live dynamic graph for you. So anyway, this is pretty flexible, but you have your item. I have my item and cost set up. I have these numbers in. There are your settings. I find that this isn't super flexible. The one thing you can't really change in this is the color of the numbers on the side. I haven't figured out how to do that, which means that when I go to put this on here, it's not, depending on what your background is, it's not always super legible. So you can, however, make this a little bigger, make it a little smaller, but you can change individual coloring of the individual bars, and it'll update as you do it. Alright, the other thing you can do is you can change the background color or the background image. You can select an image for the background. You can select the opacity or the transparency, like how much you can see through it. You can choose what style text that you want, if you want a text frame or sticker to put on there to house the text. You can also, this in the tools section is where you actually put in the chart. You can select a style of map. I haven't really used the maps much because I didn't find them super useful, but you could. and you can embed a YouTube or Vimeo video if you were going to try and publish this on the web. But again, once you go to publish on the web, you can do it. I guess I should say you can do it on the free version. The problem that I find, especially in school, is that you can't do it privately. So it's going to be public. So let's see. The last couple things to keep in mind when looking at this is once you're finished with all of this, there are ways that you have to keep in mind that if you're going to, with most assignments, you might just be simply trying to create this and create it as a JPEG. You're going to make it somehow either to print or to turn in as an image. So most people are not going to try to make this dynamic, meaning you're not going to load a video or you're not going to load a link. But however, if you are going to do those things, you're going to make it public. And if you are going to do that, you can insert things like links and make these objects linkable, make them live to hyperlinks. And you can change the opacity of each of these different objects like this. See how that is more opaque, or more transparent, I should say, sorry. When you're ready to move on with this, I'll just show you up here real quick. You can download this basically as an image, and this is where you choose the high resolution. As JPEG, you're going to get the watermark, and you hit download. When you go to download it, it's simply going to process this and download the JPEG for you, and then you just title it and save it to wherever you're going to save it. If you decide to publish it, it'll show you here that it's going to be public, and you can publish it and get the HTML embed code. If you go to share it, you have these options to share it, but basically it will be public. You can preview yours without all the extra stuff, and you can just basically see what it looks like. If you had live links, you'd be able to click on them and see that as well. And this is where you go to save. So there you go. You can see up here, let you know when it's saved, and that is Piktochart.